What to expect from a new moon? What is a new moon? What does a new moon mean spiritually? What happens during a new moon? What should we do during a new moon? These are all questions that will be answered in this episode of the podcast for the new moon in Virgo that's happening on Wednesday. Tune in. Hello. What's up, y'all? Thank you for tuning in to Soulcast. This is a podcast where we allow the soul to broadcast information, knowledge, wisdom, quotes, opinions, and so much more. Reminding everyone who is listening that this is only, and I mean only, for informative purposes. I only speak from my own experiences, okay? What is spoken on Soulcast are my truths, my beliefs, and it's all based off of what I've learned from others around me, what I've read in books, and what I experienced entirely on my own. Soulcast is here to express, shine light on, and challenge all things mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical. Everything is up for discussion over here, okay? Feel free to email us for topics you'd like us to discuss. It'll be below in every episode details, okay? Now, let's get into the good stuff. I'm Mila Nunez, your host. Let's talk about it. Hello. Happy Moon Day, Monday. Okay, so I just want to jump right into the episode. Today we are talking about the new moon in Virgo, and we're going to get into the details about what a new moon is, how it affects us, what to do, what does it astrologically mean, what does it spiritually mean, and all the things, right? So you hear all these people talking about, oh, it's a new moon this, it's a full moon that. Like, what are these people talking about, right? And you're like, what does that even mean? I mean, that's how I used to be when I first heard it. I'm okay, so a new moon. That's cool. That just means it's new. What is the significance of it? What are the benefits? You know, this happens every once a month. Why is it so important? And what does the zodiac sign have to do with anything? Like, these are all questions that I'm pretty sure your average person's going to ask, right? And I'm about to get into it. So let's go. All right. So the first question, what is a new moon? A new moon happens when the moon and the sun conjoin in the sky, setting off a new cycle of light, right? So it's invisible to us. And then slowly but surely it starts to appear as a crescent of light. Astrologically speaking, though, new moons occur when the sun and the moon are at the same exact degree in the same zodiac sign. Okay? So I would say spiritually wise, like if you're thinking about a new moon, right? What does a new moon mean spiritually? I like to think, and what I've researched and what I've looked up and started to practice is that it's like a zero starting point, right? It's like exploring the unseen, the time of rebirth. It's literally a cosmic reset, right? These moments, you want to use these times for reflection, and you want to pause and you want to dive deep, and it's the best time to start something new as well. Being that it's a new moon, you can help get yourself on a clear path of your future, what you'd like to do, and you can bring fresh energy into your life utilizing this energetic point, right? And so with that being said, I'm going to break down a little bit about the moon. Not going to go too deep into it, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give you very basic definitions, or just to-dos during the moon cycles, right? So the new moon, this is a time to build, time to create, time to reflect, right? And then you have the waxing moon. This comes after the new moon. And during this time, you want to collect energy. You want to build. You want to work on that goal that you created or that you were building, structuring up together, right? And then during the full moon, everybody's always talking about the full moon. During the full moon, you want to culminate, and you want to harvest. You want to really, really understand that this is your reaching apex for that goal that you set in mind during the new moon. This is the peak, right? And then when it comes to the waning moon, This is when you want to release, you want to reflect, you want to shed what no longer serves you, that isn't really benefiting or helping you, right? During the new moon, actually, the physical effects that we tend to feel, or just through any of the moon cycles, is like we start to feel tired sometimes. We feel very drained. We feel exhausted. Like, oh my God, like why? The moon, it affects a lot of our emotional and physical body because we're about 60 to 80% water. The moon in its cycle really does move the currents and the liquids I feel inside our body. Don't quote me on that. This is just what I interpret and how I gain information and how I understand it. So with that being said, we feel exhausted. Or in a full moon, everybody's all like, whoa, be careful, it's a full moon, people are acting crazy. It's because our energy levels are on a 10, So it makes sense, right? But during these times, what people do, they start to run rabid, they go outward, they start looking externally, when really you're supposed to use these moments and these cycles to go inward. So you become introspective. You want to be like an introverted mode, right? Really dive into yourself and making sure that you are taking care of yourself. That is one of the hugest things that you should know about the moon cycles. So this week on Wednesday, we have a new moon in Virgo. And so what that means is that the new moon in Virgo is going to be bringing details to our intentions, right? Putting the hard work in to manifest the reality that we truly, truly want, right? You have to become aware of your conditions that we place on ourselves, right? For love and acceptance. Virgo, they are very, very analytical. They're very observant, structured, right? So they are really big on making sure that they understand everything, the ins and outs, and doing it with perfection, right? And that's one thing I love about Virgos, because I have a few Virgos in my life, and Virgos and Cancers get along together very, very well, especially in I would say business standpoints and educational purposes, or just kind of working on projects together. Virgos are really, really great people to kind of really get things done if you want something to get done and happen, right? So with that being said, the Virgo new moon is it prepares us to change, right? This is where you have to really look and accept yourself for who your worth, and you have to cultivate a life that is full of everything that you deserve. You deserve everything. Virgo is the virgin, right? That is the symbolization of goddess energy, necessity versus unnecessary things, right? Releasing us from old patterns and really thriving and changing our energies. Virgo is a grounded earth sign, right? So we have to remember our wholeness and our inner divinity, and just making sure that we're not attached to anyone, and we can change our lives and fully connect to our higher power. And that's all within us, right? That is completely, entirely within us. So in these moments, you really have to think about what am I going to do? I want to find my strength. I want to be wise. I want to have all this knowledge, and I want to utilize it to my advantage, right? So something that I would do during this new moon is I would do journaling, right? You want to write down your intentions. What do you want to do? What do you want in your life? And be completely clear. Because if you're not clear and you send the universe mixed signals and mixed messages, they gonna give you all types of shit. Oh, I asked for this, but why am I getting it this way? Exactly, right? We can't send mixed signals to the universe because the universe will deliver, right? She is magical. She's powerful. So just remember that. Write down your intentions and then choose an affirmation that you can really abide by. So I'm going to be doing these practices during a new moon as well. And so remember to always write down, be clear what you want, affirm it. Yes. Set it in stone, saying this is what's going to happen. Right. And then you either if you have a bathtub, I would soak in the bath. I would do that self-care and just coincide with nature. Water is powerful. Water is beautiful. It's calming. It's relaxing. It's nourishing. And then doing it under a new moon or a full moon, that just brings us so much more energy to your energetic field, cleansing you, recharging you. It's beautiful. And then if you don't have a sacred space already, create one. Whether it's like using candles and setting up a little section. If you like crystals, put those bad boys all in that one little area. If you have sage and Palo Santo, burn it and clear your energy, like clear your room, clear your living room area, your kitchen, your whole house, take advantage of that, right? Take advantage of this moment to be able to clear your energy. That's what it's all about. Setting intentions, clearing your energy, putting in the work. Okay, side note, okay? We can want to do things and hope to do things all we desire, right? But all of that wanting is like, without doing the work, it just becomes a wish. It's a dream, but so if you're not putting in the work, if you're not taking action to get the things that you want, you're only doing half of the work. You're doing half of the manifestation. You're not really going to build the true life that you want. Whether it's going to therapy and reorganizing your destructive core beliefs, changing your thought patterns, whether it's letting go of the past, that's for me, detaching from your emotions and not allowing your emotions to dictate your every move, right? These things take a huge toll on our decision making and decide or determine whether things are going to work out the way we want them to or not, right? Based off our subconscious and our unconscious mind. We could consciously choose, I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. Yes, but if you're not doing the work subconsciously and unconsciously and rewiring and shifting it in an internal level, it won't go as far as you'd like. So you have to change your nervous system. You have to change your reactions to things, your responses, right? The way you speak to yourself, those random thoughts that come to yourself, counteract it. Oh, I look big today. I don't feel good today. Immediately counteract that and be like, you know what? That's initially how I felt, but I don't truly feel like that. That's not true. You always have to counteract the negative with the positive. There is toxic positivity, right? We all talk about that. This is not related to this, but I think it still, it resonates with this a lot, where we talk about toxic positivity, right? And how, yeah, you're doing like, you're too positive, or I think people's understanding and perception on toxic positivity are very different. My understanding of toxic positivity is when like your life is blowing up and you are like, oh, but it's fine. No, that is not okay. Like, it's because you're deliberately seeing the problems and the choices that you're making that are not effective to a healthier and better life. Yet you're still like, you know what? But life is great. I'm totally fine. No. Being positive and optimistic is seeing all of this stuff and taking initiative action to help enhance your life. That is positivity. Toxic positivity is you see all the shit and you're like, well, I'm still alive. No, that's great. I'm happy that you're still alive and breathing. That's amazing. However, do you want that to change? Do you want that to be the rest of your life? No. So I think that using these moon cycles will definitely like put you on the right track, right? Give you some discipline, give you like structured routines, right? So every new moon and full moon, you can follow a calendar. I have a calendar that I follow and use to keep up with these cycles, and I'll put it in the episode descriptions, right? And utilize it. And if you're not a spiritual or astrological person and you don't believe in this kind of stuff, like, that's fine. Try it anyways. Do this under a new moon or a full moon, or just do it every Monday or every Sunday and see how much the difference it'll make, right? And this is a test of discipline. This is a test of structure. This is a test of, are you willing to try something new to better enhance your life? That's all it is, right? So we talked about things to do, right? So write down your intentions, choose an affirmation, take a bath or extended shower if you don't like baths or don't do baths. Create a sacred space. The things you want to avoid doing during a new moon is you want to avoid bad energy people. You know those people who were just like, yeah, life is blah blah blah, whatever. Oh, like I did this, but like my day wasn't that great. But you were productive. No, you stay away from those people because the new moon is filled with bringing in new energy, energy that's going to help you feel better, do better, and know better, right? So you don't want to fill your life with naysayers or people who just aren't as ambitious or goal oriented or have, seeking a purpose within themselves. Like, avoid those people, especially during a new moon. You don't want that. The next thing is like you want to avoid getting stuck in the past, right? This is a huge one for me because not to say I thrive off of my past like traumas or my experiences. However, a lot of them empowered me and grew me to the person that I am today, right? So I utilize those, but I know sometimes when I get triggered, I get back to the past and I allow those past emotions to come up and dictate my moves, my thoughts, the way, things like that. So not allowing yourself to dive too deep in the past is crucial. It's critical during a new moon. Do not do that because again, we're bringing in new energy. We don't want to bring the past with us. We don't want to bring negativity with us, right? And then you want to avoid saying no. Okay. Again, new moon energy. You want to have new possibilities. You want to meet new people, new opportunities, experiences, right? So if something gets placed into your life, right, especially during a new moon, you want to jump at every opportunity you can wisely, right? But you really want to be open. Yeah. So if someone's like coming to your life, hey, I want to know if I can get to know you during a new moon phase and you're trying to incorporate new energy, why not say yes? Why not be like, yeah, sure, why not? Because what's the harm going to do, right? We are all so worried about wasting our time, wasting our energy, not putting this and that. If it's not benefiting me, that's selfish as fuck, for one. And then for two, it's like, that is honestly a fear-based mindset. Because at the end of the day, if you are strong enough within your own self, if you are strong enough in your own energy and you know yourself very well, anything you do with other people will not affect you that deeply, right? You'll be like, whatever's, like, it is what it is. It was an experience, and then you'll move on, right? But a lot of the times we end up just dismissing it before we giving it an opportunity, and that's when a lot of opportunities are missed. A lot of like fun things are not happening in our lives because we're actively choosing, or even subconsciously choosing to say no based off of a fear, based off of like, oh, it doesn't get off your self-righteous high horse, please. No, you're not better than everyone. You cannot be better than everyone. You can be better than your past self. You can be better than past experiences and opportunities and stuff that you've been through, but you're not better than anybody else. And not to say it in like an asshole way, because I have to tell myself that, like, Mila, you are not better than everyone else because you're on your spiritual tip and your journey and you're elevating and this and that, like, does not make you better than anyone. It does not, right? Does it make me feel more empowered within myself? Absolutely. Does it make me feel more trustworthy and loving of myself? Most definitely, And so when I allow myself to see it through that lens of a higher self, an inner goddess, as opposed to egotistical and selfish asshole, right? There's a difference. So avoid saying no, right? Open yourself, be open, allow new things to come in. And you give yourself that power to be like, you know what, this was great. I tried it, but it's not for me. And that's fine. And you went through this experience and that was it. Totally cool. Yes, perfect. So I know that was a lot of information so far. This isn't going to be too long of an episode. I'm actually going to go into a little bit more information in regards to the zodiac signs and what to expect while they're in a new moon or a full moon phase. So let's get into it. So Aries. Aries is about identity, self, individuality. It's a fire and it's for beginnings, right? Then we have Taurus, Mother Earth, art, nature, body positivity, grounding. Gemini is for conversation. It's an air sign, information, knowledge, your social Cancer, water, womb, the mother, the moon, comfort. Leo is for fire, creativity, fame, the sun. And then we have Virgo, which is going to be the earth, or a goddess, harvest, sorting out necessary and unnecessary things, right? That's what we're in right now. Then we have Libra. It's going to be the balance, justice, beauty, harmony, air sign, and ideas. Then we got Scorpio. It's going to be deep waters, the underworld, the shadow, the past self, Sagittarius is going to be adventure, fire, the unknown, wildness. Adventure, again, is great with the Sagittarius energy. Capricorn, it's earth. It's going to be about structure, integrity, hard work, and it's Saturn. Aquarius is going to be air, new ideas, revolution, future oriented. They're the outsiders, right? So that's going to be really great energy when we get into a new moon or full moon. Anyways, Pisces is the ocean, collective consciousness, mystical, and dreams. So we just had a full moon, a full blue moon in Pisces, and it was a blue moon because it's rare to have two full moons in a month, right? And that's why they call it a blue moon. It wasn't actually blue, y'all. Chill. But the way it illuminated, it was like super LED light to where it could come off as a blue essence, right? But it was in Pisces, which is a collective consciousness where you were deep into your mystical energy and your conscious mind and connected with so many other people. So you should have been able to read a whole bunch of people's energy. You don't have to be high in your power or have some type of, we are all energy. We all can pick up on vibrations. Like, fuck what everybody says. Yes, we all can. We all have that power. So with that Pisces full moon, it was something serious. And then now going into a Virgo new moon, where we're structuring and kind of letting go of feelings and emotions and things that just aren't benefiting us. It's going to be a great new moon. And I hope you guys take advantage of that. Like, I challenge those who are not into astrology or spiritual work or witchcraft or, whatever the case they want to see your energy work. Like, I just challenge you to just try it. There's no harm in doing it. All you're doing is writing your intentions and your goals, taking action under beautiful energy. And that's it. I advise those who are really into it to soak up the energy, go outside. The moon, just because the moon is invisible doesn't mean the moon isn't there. You feel me? So really just take advantage, step outside, go into the water, be in nature, connect with the earth. How hard is that? We do that on the daily, but let's be more intentional about it. Let's connect and have more meaningful experiences with it, right? Why not? Yes. So that was all the information that I was picking up for this new moon in Virgo. And I hope that it helps you kind of get an idea of what to do during a new moon phase. And I want to finish up with an affirmation from my deck of affirmation cards. It's for a positivity, inspiring message to start your day. So the affirmation that I pulled is, today I am powerful. Today my potential to succeed and conquer challenges is limitless. Again, today I am powerful. Today my potential to succeed and conquer challenges is limitless. And on that note, stay powerful, stay strong, and stay beautiful. Have a good day, y'all. See you next week.